Hey Laura, how you doing?
When they're gonna get it. Hey, Jared.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How about you?
Hey Laura, make a co-host if you can help people. If you're in a spot where you can't help people, just join.
Oh, sounds great. Yeah, I'll be fine. Go ahead.
Sweet saints. What's up, Olinda? How you doing?
Hey,
We got Frank on the line. We have Laura. Nice. Start in just a minute. Unos minutos. Sure. Set a post and we'll get going. Get in. There we go. What's up, Anna? We got Carlos on. Hayden. Love it. Okay. Well, let's get going. People are always going to show up late because that's just how we all are. I'm the same way when it's not my call.
Hey, Jared, you said you're gonna make me co-host?
Yeah, did I?
No, you
Oh,
didn't make me.
I guess we're gonna hit the yes button.
That works.
Minor detail. Hey, Anna, do you mind helping out and if I make you co-host, just keep an extra eye and letting people in? Can you do that?
hey, are you talking to me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, great.
Are you able? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know how to do it. If you can tell me, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So I just made you co-host. I think I did. And then as people, Laura will catch a lot of it, most of it, but it's always good to have extra eyes on it.
Okay.
Just let people in as they come in. We'll hear the beeping as they come in.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. We got Melissa, Jason's on
There
there.
about that I need to click.
Yeah, I should say I've been letting people in too, but once I start talking, then it's gonna be you'll see it. It'll give you some notification on there too. So yeah,
It does it at the top of your screen,
yeah.
and that's just kind of what's up your screen.
It shows on the screen, right? Okay, sounds good.
I mean, it's just double eyes. Laura's got it, but
I
if
get
I
it.
don't see it or Laura doesn't see it, you just extra eyes. Okay, awesome guys. I'm excited for this round two or the official launch. I guess the first one was a pre-launch. I really like. We had like a huge. We had like a ton of people joined the first round and a lot of people joining this round too as well. I'm so like I said in the um in the wrap up party in the launch party about you know what we were able to learn and kind of fine tune a lot of things. And so I'm excited for this go round too because we I made some not like massive changes but enough changes where it's going to be more gamified, if anything, and it's going to encourage everyone to actually take more action, which can be scary sometimes. So that's what we need here.
That's what I need.
That's right, right? I think that's the biggest thing. So, because we can watch videos all day long, we can let's see here. Oh, right. We can watch all day long, like videos and um, books and watching classes and joining challenges and things like that. But if we don't do anything, we don't take any action, and then there's no, you're not going to have any results for it. Just pure and simple. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important to have that action and to really focus on the MMA. So for a lot of you, this is who we're not in the last round. Some of you were, some of you weren't. We're going to talk about just the onboarding. I'm going to show you guys kind of what's the weekly expectation. So there's going to be more accountability, which I think was something that we needed to more of last time, and clarity. I think there's going to be a lot more clarity this go around, hopefully. And if you guys have questions or whatnot, feel free to jump out and ask questions. Just hop off mute, put in the chat if you have questions. I mean, love to hear them. This is going to be recorded, and so that's probably why we don't have as many people on as last time. But sweet. But anyways, yeah. So feel free to put in the chat any questions or hop off mute. Go ahead and ask questions. I love it. So for the games, there are 4 pillars of kind of what we're doing and what we're focusing on. Okay. The biggest and most important pillar is, well, actually, let's leave that to last. We're talking about last, actually. So, one is the daily calls, and what does that look like? So with the daily calls, it's Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. And we're gonna have, if you guys go into, let me actually share my screen so I can actually show you what this all is. There's less questions, I think. But perfect. Jeff's the man. All right, let me share my screen. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, you guys see my screen? Phenomenal. Okay, so one of the big pillars, or not biggest pillars, but one of the pillars of the challenges is the daily calls. And the daily calls, to get into it, one, you can, if you're in the games, right, you can it'll tell you right here in the chat what's the next event coming up, but also in the calendar, you're gonna see everything what's kind of going on the next couple of months, right? Every call bonanza, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But what you can do is jump on each one. I wish there was like a button where you just sync the calendar, you know, so if I'm making changes or whatever, you can get onto it. But you just add to calendar, and whether it's iPhone, Google, or whatever it is, you just pop it in there, and then then you have more reminders. Okay. So add to calendar. You know, it's kind of a tedious, but I think that's the best way to go, right? I'm going to start sending out text messages for the phone numbers I have as reminders. I'm getting text message service. You're all being able to jump on. Also, the calendar shows up the bonanzas, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But the calls will be recorded. So if those who are maybe working, or will have a number of things, right, where you can't just make it, or if you're just doing MMAs or doing money making activities, like I would rather you be making phone calls or knocking on doors or sending out text messages than being on this call. That's probably the more important thing to do, honestly. So if you're out there doing money making activities instead of this, awesome. Now we're structuring this where we're gonna be doing MMAs together. So last round, towards the end on Wednesdays, we would do MMAs. And by the way, who can tell me what's an MMA? There's some people that haven't been on that are new on here. What is an MMA? Because we're gonna talk a lot about MMAs.
Money making activities.
Money making activities. That's right. money making. It's not the, we're not doing cage fighting here, mixed martial arts, but it's money making activities. So what's the definition of a money making activity? Is that like pulling a list together? Is that watching a video? Someone help me out with the definition of what is a money making activity?
Casino.
Not all at once. Everyone calm down.
Las Vegas.
What was that?
Casino.
Casino?
Gambling.
Calling leads.
Yeah. So money making activities, in a nutshell, is communicating with a fellow human being. So money making activities, like I'm sending a text message to someone about buying their property, right? I'm making a phone call. I'm going to have some sort of interaction. I'm knocking on their door. This is not all about like planning, watching videos. Money making activity only counts when you're communicating with a fellow human being. So we're going to have to be to you're going to have to like report how many MMAs you did every single week. So it's not about it's communicating with a fellow human being. Making a phone call, that's MMA. Okay. Does anybody have questions about MMA? What counts as MMA? Because getting a list together is not MMA. Watching this video, jumping on this call is not money making activity. It can get you to the point where maybe you need the knowledge or whatever, that's fine, but it still doesn't count as a money making activity. Does that make sense? So your success is going to be determined by how many MMAs you do. I'm telling you right now, the ones that landed deals last round is because they were doing consistent money making activities. They were consistently talking to people. Because there's no way, and there's ways where you can find deals. You're not making like 1,000 phone calls, right? There's minions, there's a whole lot of different strategies, but every single way starts with some sort of communication with a fellow human being. Okay. So the daily calls, we're gonna have the Wednesdays. We're actually going to be is probably one of my favorite ones. So the first two we're gonna do some role playing, but every Wednesday, for example, we're gonna be on the Zoom and literally just making phone calls or doing some sort of MMA activity together and holding each other accountable, which is really, really cool. In addition to that, so there's going to be like subjects on what we're talking about for the calls, lead generation, finding lead lists, so on. We're gonna go through like a subject of what those things are, what we're gonna talk about. So it's gonna be really good. So come with questions. Another thing too, what we did last time is people, if they had leads, like I need help calling those leads, we would bring them onto the call and then we'd make the live call right then and there. So that's going to be the structure of the calls are going to be the first like 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes is going to be whatever that subject is. So for example, tomorrow we're talking about sacred time, which is probably that's definitely next level. You definitely need to watch this. Don't miss that. But it's sacred time. And then the last like 40, 45 minutes or the last 20 minutes or so, we can open it up for questions, continue talking about whatever that subject is, or call on your leads. Say you have a lead that you're a little nervous to call on. Let's call it together. Last time we called people, we got deals under contract, we got seller financing. People were able to see multiple deals where we got like the next level or even like agreement, even like with creative financing. People saw that the last round and they're recorded and most of them record. There's one I forgot to push the record button. That's a whole other story. So that's really cool. I'm really excited about that too. So if you can bring the leads to the call and watch, we do it together. Maybe you want to call and we can get critiqued, or you want to see me do it. Awesome, no worries, no problem whatsoever. Okay. Also in the calendar, it's going to have our bonanzas. So a bonanza is it's an event. So the bonanzas are the only thing that's not online. This is a physical group. Okay. So for example, in February we're doing a door knocking bonanza where we're going to have a place, and that week before we're talking about all the questions you may have about door knocking or or whatever the bonanza is, because we'll do like door knocking bonanzas, cold calling bonanzas, and we're gonna be either cold calling or knocking on doors. You're not alone. You'll be in groups of two or three when you're knocking on doors. You're gonna have a script. It was amazing. Last time for the bonanzas, I was amazed at how much energy there was and how much excitement there was, because there were some people so nervous about making those first door knocks, the first phone calls, and then when they came back, like the energy was palpable. Like there was like, yeah, this is awesome. I mean, we were getting anywhere from 20 to 30 people showing up to these bonanzas, and it was a blast. Just getting leads and getting appointments and just getting the experience. So you're able to go off and do it on your own or with your team or however you want to do it, right? So that's the cool part. Does anybody have any questions about the daily calls or maybe the bonanzas or whatnot? So they will be recorded. If the As far as the recordings, they're going to be in the classroom. So one, I'll make a post about it. And it takes me about less than 24 hours to upload the recording. Usually within a couple hours, I'll have it up there, but sometimes it may take me 24 hours to get it up there, depending what's going on. So I will make a post here just to remind everyone, hey, this is the call. This was about. This is what we, what was the whole subject. And then you can go into the classroom, and in this here it says daily call recordings, Q&As, negotiate, and all that. This is right. This is where you would actually click on and show. So let me show you guys last events cold callings, and it'll go over exactly what we talked about for that week or for that particular call. We'll have the video. It'll have like the YouTube video link if you want to watch it on YouTube or whatever, or just right here, just click on the button, bam, plays. And it gives also the content underneath will give like if you don't even watch the video but you just read this workbook, that's going to give you most of the information you need just from that call. So if you're looking for a summary, or if you want to find out, like maybe we're talking about links or something like that, or certain websites or scripts, the scripts will be down here. So if I'm giving you guys scripts or websites to go to, they'll be under the video, which you can kind of watch and check out. Okay. Any questions about the daily calls? Nothing so far? Okay.
Hey Jared, so
Yes.
is this round going to be like in addition to last round as far as the recordings? Are those going to be uploaded like in a different spot or?
So like last round, it's and great question. So last round I have the calls recorded down here from November to January, and I think most of you, if you haven't been in it, I'll probably give you access to it if you want to take a look at the old calls too. Like I'm okay with that, but just request it and I can turn it on if you don't have it. But it'll be right here, and I probably should make the thumbnail different, right? So it's too similar to this one. Even this one, yeah. I'll make the thumbnail different today. But it'll be right here. So it has like from February to March 2025.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, this is where it's gonna be. So I mean, this is the first call, so there's nothing here, right? But after today, there'll be today's call right here. So great question. Okay. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So those are those daily calls. Be on it, participate, and if you're working, that's why they're recorded, right? Another pillar is like the classroom. So this is literally like what I've used to get into deals in my whole system is right here. Like I'm not leaving stones unturned. And I try to keep things as simple or as short as humanly possible. So just an example, I mean, like most of the videos are going to be within, like going into the finding off market deals or whatever. Most of the videos are going to be 15 minutes or less, or 20 minutes less in this case. There's a couple that may be a little longer. The door knocking one, I think the door knocking one is absolutely probably the longest one. I think that's body language. Where's my door knocking one? But we're gonna go over also which ones you want to watch as far as like the great filter and all that stuff right there. But most of them are gonna be within 15 minutes. So and again, underneath is the workbook, which gives you the information you need of what we talked about or what I'm talking about in there, with like how to find the, for example, the skip tracing tools or different websites. All of that's gonna be right here. If there's scripts involved in that particular subject, it's gonna be down here as well. Okay. So if you guys need more like content or whatever, it's gonna be right there. So this is gonna be like at your leisure, depending on what you're looking for. And here's the thing, guys, like you can go into like, the dispo where I go over how to, find a buyer's list, how to send out an email blast, everything that you need to kind of really send out your as a wholesaler. But one thing I want to point out, I want to be very, very intentional is we shouldn't be worried about step 30 when we're on step 2. That's the biggest thing. It's instead of watching, like if you haven't called a single person at all, if you haven't reached out, they haven't done anything as far as like finding a deal, contacting, doing any MMAs, you really shouldn't be watching the Dispo Master segment stuff. You really shouldn't. You should be looking at how to find deals, going over the first initial stuff. Those are the things you should be watching. And then after that, then it's like I'm going to take action and start doing. So I mean, it's all about setting appointments, and then from there, because this other stuff is quick enough, like the deal analysis, things like that. It doesn't take you forever to kind of get there, right? So the first steps is right here, start here, and I want everyone to kind of go through over this stuff here. So we talk about the battle buddies, accountability, the great filters, sacred time. So over the next little bit, so like 9 minutes, 18 minutes there, you can speed it up. Creating your avatar. This is like a 1 minute read, but this is a very good. We're gonna talk about that, I think, on Tuesday or Thursday. I forget which day it is, but you're gonna go over starting here. These very short classes and minute reads. Again, I created this stuff as short as humanly possible. When you guys read books, I mean, honestly, when you go through it all, most of the stuff is kind of fluff. I mean, to be real, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but really a lot of it's like stories, a lot of it's like most stuff you can drill down a lot of stuff into just bullet points. And so that's why I didn't want to spend a ton of time in videos, because I didn't want people to fall in the trap of just watching the video, and not taking any action. This whole games is about money. This whole thing is about money making activities. That's the key. And there's someone have a question, or is this actually left on mute, which is okay. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss. If you want to have a question or comment, feel free to come off and go and shout it out, guys. No problem. But again, it's all about money making activities. That is like the biggest pillar of them all, is the money making activities, guys. I tell you what, okay. So that's the classrooms, right? And I'm planning to add even more information on here as the weeks go by, which I'll give you access to. So I'll be putting more content in, whether it's the social media or door knocking, depending what we're talking about. I'm adding a lot more stuff into the negotiations classes that we got. So yeah, it's pretty. And this is my stuff. I'm not like holding back. I'm not keeping stuff close to the chest, and I try to keep this as simple as humanly possible. So if a Walmart associate can understand it, then you guys will be squared away. Perfect. You guys just fine. Any questions on that? So we have the daily calls, classrooms. The third pillar, which is probably the biggest one, which we already talked about, is the money making activities. That is huge. Okay, I mean, again, not to beat a dead horse, and you're going to hear me talk about this a lot. And we're going to go over. We can talk about some mind stuff, especially this first week. Mindset, getting over those humps of like why you're not taking the action that you need. There's plenty of people that have been, whether they're part of or not, or they're not, but they've been looking at doing real estate, just haven't really actually taken the plunge and take the action. So the money making activities is absolutely by far the biggest and most important stuff that we need to kind of focus on. And part of that is every single Friday. So this is part of the accountability part of it. Those who were there at the here, let me grab one actually. Hang on a second. So I gave away a bunch of calendars and pins, and that was at the event last Saturday. And if you weren't there, if you didn't get one, that's okay. We can get it out to you. You know, whether we meet on a Thursday night or whatever, we can get you one. You don't necessarily have to have this particular one, but it's just a simple calendar, guys. It's just Monday through Friday, check off list. That's it. It's nothing special. You can just do it, whatever. So you guys need to keep track of your own money making activities. And that's when you're talking to people, right? So you need to keep track of the money making activities. Okay. And at first, it's not going to be a ton because you're going to be learning. You're going to be watching all the classes and things like that. You're going to be going through and getting to the notes where you can take those steps. Okay. So on every single Friday, so there's some pin posts up here which you can get to it easily. But everyone needs to turn in their MMA check-in. Okay, so it's just a Google form. I mean, it's easy peasy, really. But put in your name. I guess I could probably remove the email address because I got like twice on there. But let's hang on a second. There we go. Okay. There's a couple sections in here. Okay, so this is your weekly data input sections. Okay, you guys can still see my screen, right? Yep. I don't think I stopped sharing. Okay, good. So the biggest thing, because this is games, right? So this is for the competitiveness, right? And just keeping track. So even if you don't care about the competitiveness, about the games and winning the games, this is going to be, it's regardless of if you have that competitive nature or not, that this is going to keep you on track. Okay, what you keep track of grows. So if you're keeping track of your MMAs, your activities, that will grow and increase. Okay. And by the way, so the last round that I actually gave away something that has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course, over $1 million. I gave away my buyer's list to someone. Now the winner of the games is probably gonna get something very similar or the exact same thing that's gonna be worth that much, well, relatively speaking, because like getting the buyer's list like this, so it was creating that one. He got the buyer's list, and so he has the list of my buyers, which when he's doing continuing wholesaling, he can just throw it out there. He has that created, already set it done. So there's a real prize at the end of this, guys. And there's also, I mean, so this is not just kind of small stuff. This is really good stuff here. Okay. So you're gonna put in whatever whatever the subject is. So for example, what are we keeping track of? Okay. I'll talk about this here in a second, but like deals closed. So depending how much money you made, you divide that by 10, and that's how many points you're getting. So if you close the deal and you made so much money, that's going to count as points. So it's all point-based system, okay? The Battle Buddy meeting completed. That's something we'll talk about here in just a second, but that's worth 25 points of actually having the Battle Buddy. Number of money-making activities. So 1 point per activity. That's how many phone calls you made, how many text messages you sent out, how many letters did you send out? Did you reach your goal? Did you post about your MMA goal? So part of the things, let me talk about Battle Buddies first, because I think I probably should have talked about Battle Buddies before I went into this here. Everyone's going to be assigned multiple Battle Buddies by the end of this week, and I'm waiting until the end of the week because there are still people that are struggling that are signing up, and so I want to give them a little bit of time. And you guys you're going to be kind of catching up and doing some things anyway, so it's okay. But by the end of the week, everyone's going to be assigned anywhere from 2 to 3 Battle Buddies. And what's a Battle Buddy? And this is something that we didn't focus on heavily last round, but it's going to be a big focus this one. So battle buddies is accountability partner. Okay. And we're doing in groups this time. So last time we had pairs of 2. So you were assigned one battle buddy, one person that you need to report to. The challenge with that was not everyone is on the same motivation, I guess you'd say, or they're not as active as other people. So I'd have one person that was in and they try to reach out to the battle buddy and it was just kind of crickets. Or maybe something happened in their life, because life happens and that's okay. Sometimes we join a challenge and then a life emergency may happen, or who knows, right? You know, I'm not throwing any shade or judgment, but the challenge was that some of the other person was not active, and so they couldn't really, hold each other accountable because the other person was just MIA, okay, missing in action, right? And so yeah, and I did switch people around a little bit throughout the time, but it'd be so much easier from the get go if we have someone there. So that's why we're going to be in groups of 3 and 4. We're going to hold each other accountable to your goals. So this is the other pillar that's huge, is the battle buddy. So there's 2 things that we need to focus on. I guess it's gonna be 3 things, but you need to have a meeting with your battle buddies at least once a week. And in that meeting, it doesn't have to be a physical meeting. It can be. I recommend it if you can. If you guys live close enough together, it could be a Zoom. It could be, phone call. It doesn't matter, right? So you're going to have a meeting with your battle buddy team, at least once a week. So you guys figure out your schedules, whatever that makes sense. And maybe 2 of you can meet a certain time, the other 2 can meet another time, or whatever. You guys figure it out. You're adults. And I can help out if you really need help, I suppose. You're going to talk about 2 things. You're going to talk about your goals for the week that just passed and your goals for the week that's coming. And so you need to create your own goals as far as like how many MMAs you're going to be doing. And then you're going to talk about how did you do on the past week. Okay, so I'm not going to set, there's not going to be a minimum of MMAs you got to do, because everyone has different times, and that's okay, right? Everyone has different availability. Everyone has different schedules. I mean, that's just kind of the name of the game, right? Everyone's going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. So, if my goal is like I'm gonna, my motive action is going to be making phone calls, for example, like okay, I'm going to make 30 phone calls a day. Okay, great. So over the course of the 7, and maybe I'm off, and I'm not going to do anything on Sunday, right? So it's going to be 180 phone calls for that week. So 180 MMAs that I'm going to be doing. And if Jesus was my battle buddy, I'm like, all right, listen, man, I actually did 200 MMAs this week. Awesome, sweet. But what if I didn't make any of those phone calls, or maybe only did like 100, or only did 50, or whatever? It's your job as the accountability partner, as your battle buddy, to hold each other accountable. Like, and this is always a little different, right, with personality types and things like that. So I get that, but you should care enough for that person to hold them accountable for not achieving what they said they would do. And there's a couple ways that we're going to do that. So each person's gonna get 2 things, right? So we're gonna decide what the actual goal is for that week, right, and how they didn't pass. But also, there's 2 things you need to figure out. You need to figure out a carrot and a stick for that week. So what does that mean? A carrot is something a reward that you're going to give yourself. So if I make the 180 phone calls, I'm going to make 30 phone calls a day, for example, or 6 days of the week, and I make 180 phone calls, great. I'm going to give myself an award that I wouldn't normally do, at least consistently. And that could be anything that you decide. That's the trick. So I want you guys to start thinking about what could be some of your rewards that you're giving yourself, because this is psychology stuff. If you're having trouble taking action, maybe you don't have trouble taking action, but maybe you want to do more. You want to be more effective in your time. Giving yourself that reward is going to do magical things for you guys. I'm not even kidding. It's going to be magical, because if you have something you're reaching for, and then you're getting those small rewards, those small little dopamine hits that you did something, you accomplished something, you get to give yourself high fives. And those awards could be something as simple as like, I'm gonna, if you're if you like to play video games, for example, I don't know, you can game for 2 hours without any you can game for like 2 hours without interruption or something like that. Or I'm gonna take my missus out to my spouse. We're going out to a night out of the town or something like that. Or I'm going to treat myself and I'm gonna buy the next thing that I wanted to buy or something like that, right? Some sort of reward. It's not like huge because it's a weekly basis thing, but something to get yourself motivated to do something. And on the other side of the coin is the stick, the punishment. What happens if you don't hit those goals? So if my goal is to make 180 calls 180 MMAs, and I don't hit it, well, what happens? What is that? So the punishment we talked about a little bit of this even in the call yesterday or in the launch party. But what is the punishment? So that punishment could be, so for an example, I remember people telling me that some of their punishments that they take their battle buddies out to lunch or something like that. Or like Josh is probably one of my favorite ones, that one of his punishments was that he had to donate X amount of money to his sports team, like as a college sport team, BYU, he absolutely hates. There could be like charities, like if it doesn't have to be money, but as some examples, charities of of maybe of charities you don't believe in, you know, maybe you're pro-life, and so you're gonna donate $50 to a pro-choice charity or something like that. I don't know, whatever it may be, and it could be the reverse. I'm just gonna throw ideas out there that I want you guys to kind of start thinking about. Or it could be like, you know what, now I got to for me, one of my punishments, I don't hit my goals on there's a certain category that if I don't hit my goals, I have to do something I don't want to do, which is like I'm gonna go on social media and just sing on my little teapot with the whole little the sayings. If you guys go back on my social on my Facebook and go back far enough, you'll see a Facebook live of me singing "I'm a Little Teapot." No explanation, just bam, it's there. It only took me one time to not do that ever again, to hit those goals. That's all it took. So this is something that you guys need to figure out. Start thinking about what is going to be your reward for doing the MMAs. What is going to be your punishment for not doing them? And this is going to be a big push, like psychologically. You're getting the carrot and the stick. You're getting the biggest thing to motivate. Like our brains it's an organ, and it's designed not to keep you happy and healthy and happy and wealthy. Your brain is designed to keep you alive. And so our brains will avoid pain and seek out pleasure. And so to avoiding pain, if we tie pain to not doing a certain thing, we will more likely to do the activity, so we don't have to have that punishment or that pain or embarrassment or whatever it is, right? And it also, like, if I get a reward by doing something, then that's going to push me towards that. And it's smaller scale. It's just the weeks. Because yeah, sure, making $20,000 in a wholesale fee is amazing, and that should be reward enough, but it's not, because it's so far out there, right? Because like I got to make all these phone calls before I actually close a deal, or I got to send out a mailer before I close a deal. So it's so far out there that it's you need to kind of pull things back and put it into bite-size weekly goals. That's where the punishment rewards come from, right? So you're going to reward yourself for making those phone calls. Maybe you didn't make any appointments at all, but you did it. You knocked on the door. You made that phone call. You sent out that mailer. There should be a reward for that, right? And give yourself those high fives that are well warranted. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the battle buddies or about the reward and punishments or anything like that at all? By Friday, everyone's gonna have your battle buddy group, battle squad. Oh, I like that. Battle squad. That sounds cooler. Okay, accountability group, that's battle squad. Because it's more. It's you're gonna be 3 to 4. So you're gonna have your battle squad by the end of this week because again, I just want to have people have chance to. There's a few people that sign up a little late, which is okay. So that's gonna be huge, guys. Okay. Any questions about that or anything we talked about so far? And you can put in the chat too if you have other questions too, if you want to come up, if you're unable to come off mute or whatever. But okay. Awesome. So battle buddies, there's that, right? So you need to by Friday to have your your meeting. And this week, obviously because no one's gonna be assigned it until Friday anyways, but for the not this Friday, but next Friday, you're gonna have at least to have one battle buddy meeting. And that's why if you're in a group of four and two of them are not doing anything, like at least you have the other one that can stand by. And again, if you're having like let's say like you're in a group of two or three and the other ones are just not ever meeting or whatever, then reach out to me. We'll figure it out whether we throw you into another group or assign you another a battle buddy is actually doing some stuff. Then we'll make sure you get that in there. Great question, Marjorie. Okay, so Marjorie asks, do we pick who we want to have as our battle buddies? I'm okay with if you guys want to do some picking. As far as last time, I did the survey. Most people just they didn't care. There's one or two that actually did want. So if you want to have like if you already know who you want to have as your battle buddy, awesome, cool, no problem. Just let me know and we'll get it arranged. Not a big deal. So I'm gonna say the options there, and if it's like I don't know who's in the games, who's not, whatever, then I'll sign it, whatever, and that's so yes. The answer is you can pick, but you don't have to pick. So don't worry about it. If you don't know everyone's on the call or anything like that at all, and you can also just making post on the community too about like hey guys, I'm looking, I'm really focused on this and this. Who's going to be making phone calls? I'd like to have battle buddies that are very similar. If you really want to kind of dive into it, that's totally fine. So great question, Marjorie. Okay. All right, so let's go back. Let me share my screen again. I'll share about the weekly report. Okay, perfect. So my screen should be sharing it. Yeah. So, okay. So did you hit your MMA goals and did you post about it? Right. And they're going to post inside the actual community. Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. The summit. Oh, okay. I think perfect. Okay. And being active here, guys, this is huge. This is a big thing too, right? So being active actually in the community itself, in the wholesale games, this is where you're gonna find help and community because it's not all about like, hey, I'm gonna learn from Jared. I'm gonna find out all of his stuff. But the power of of this in the community is that you have more than just me, right? Like for example, Jason's a huge. He actually won the social butterfly award, right? Because he got more post and engagement than anyone else out there, right? So I mean, Jason's a great resource. Just an example, he's just posting out there little tips out there, or like for like Marjorie did great. I love her post, like just sharing some wins and letting other people comment on each other's posts too. That's huge, guys, because when you look at this here, there's a leaderboard, and this is all for engagement purposes. Okay, the more you get what you put into it, and so every time that you guys make a post, you get a point. When someone likes a post of yours, you get a point. When you're commenting and liking other people's, you get more points. And so, I mean, you'll see like Jason's a freaking rock star, as you can tell, right? So like overall, like he's just been killing it. But also all of this stuff. So this is going to be your ranking is going to affect like your points in the games just in general, because when you look at your ranking, your sometimes education will be unlocked to it, but there's also points engaged with that. So the more the engagement you're doing, the more points you actually get to potentially win the games. If you're level 6, wholesaler mogul, and you're that's 1,000 points towards the end of the games. So I mean, right now, if Jason would have had over the last 30 days, like plus 30 points to his team. And I'm creating an actual leaderboard, guys, where it's going to show like the graphs and stuff. So we'll have that here shortly, which is pretty cool, which is going to be created out of your input from the sheet. So in the community here, right there. So weekly check-in due by Friday night. Okay. This is going to be pinned on there. So I'm going to leave this there basically forever. And changes when needed. But this is where that's going to sit at, right? Okay. So it's going to be like you're going to comment where you at as far as the level goes. That's what the level I'm talking about. So if I click on myself, for example, or the leaderboard, I can see what level I'm at. So I'm a level 5. So I would put it on level 5 at that time, and it timestamps it. So we're not like getting extra points or whatever, right? So what level? So I would be, yeah, I'm level 5 influencer, which is worth 50 points, right? So that's what I would mark on that. How many deals closed you did that week, if there was any. So whether you attended your weekly battle buddy meeting, so plus 25 points. Number of MMAs, again, like we talked about that's like huge. Did you actually meet your goals? You know, if my goal was 180, again, maybe your goal is 20 MMAs or whatever it may be, right? And you can even make your goals. You can throw in your personal goals too, whether that's health or whatever it is. As long as you have goals in there that you want your accountability to hold you accountable towards real estate, then that's fine too, right? So there's even points if you don't have that, then you're going to get negative too. So I really, again, it's the punishment and the reward, right? Those are huge. Did you make a real estate related post on social media? Yes or no? 20 points there. And there's the whole class on excuse me, the whole class on the social media stuff on there, which we talk about later. Did you get any deals under contract? Whether it's closed or not, it doesn't matter. It's 100 points there. And then this is the fun stuff where this is where I kind of nerd out a little bit. But side quests, if any gamers out there, you understand about side quests. But it's just kind of silly fun stuff, which is just great, right? So join 20 real estate related Facebook groups, post something valuable, tips, questions, whatever, 50 points upon completion. And this stuff you don't necessarily have to do, but if you do this, then you get more points. Cold calling bingo. This is so the cold calling bingo. Let me show you guys. This is fun. So for example, completing the complimenting the seller sincerely, getting the seller to laugh, ask for a referral, talk to someone for 10 minutes, like an actual conversation, ask 5 questions on one call, mirror the seller's words. We're going to talk about that, what that actually means. Negotiate the counter offer, so there's a number of things that's on here. Use the word meow in a phone conversation without sounding weird. This is just fun stuff. Okay. You don't have to do the extra side quests, but it's just some of you are gonna really dig it, and some of you are like, this stupidest thing in the world, and that's okay. No problems there. Post a recording of the seller conversation. You would record your phone call, especially if you're in Utah, because it's a single party state. You don't have to get permission. 5 points for each question that you're asking. And then there's talk about milestones. So this is like the milestones as far as where you're at, as far as level. Oh, I got that double, don't I? Yep. Hang on. We're just gonna. I'm gonna delete that. That's okay. Boom. Fixed. Okay. What did you enjoy about the challenge? Like constant engagement is going to help this be better, right? What did you enjoy? What did you learn about the games? Let me put the games in there as the challenge, because what can we improve on? That is something that we also need. I mean, I need help with, and that was the big thing about this last one. So this right here is going to help us keep track of where we're all sitting and hold each other accountable. Because accountability is really where the magic's going to happen, guys. I tell you what. Is there any questions about like the form, the input sheet, what, or anything else? Am I making sense, or is this all crazy talk?
Hey, Jared, where do we find the input sheet again?
Perfect. Great question. So it's going to be in the pin to the first comment or comment. It's going to be in the let me share my screen again. In the community, in this first post here. So when you go in the community, whether it's on your app or on the website, or it doesn't matter, but weekly MMA check-in due by Friday, that's what that is. So when you click on it, that's the Google form. And you can just save that link too. That's going to be the same. So whatever method you have, it'll be there. And we'll talk about it on Friday. We'll post this again, making sure that everyone has it so it's access. But always, it's going to be pinned there pretty much for the entire course of it, so we have access to it always. A great question. Phenomenal. Okay. What do you guys hope to accomplish? Or well, one, do you have any other questions about like the games, about this, how this all works? What or anything else, right? Where we're going to talk about. And if you don't have any questions, I would like to hear. We have about 10 minutes more, but what do you guys hope to accomplish in the games? What do you hope to accomplish to maybe just find your first deal, or what's that going to do for you? I want to hear your guys' input, please. No, not all at once. Everyone calm down.
I
I'll
feel
go.
like
I love it.
got two people. I feel like I'm pretty good at taking action, but it's honing the skills
Yeah.
so I actually have results.
I want to land my first deal and take action and get over the fear.
What else? I think Melissa, we were about to say jump off too.
I want to get my first deal and know what is the right way to do it.
The right way, get the first deal, and what the right way to do it. I like that.
To do it or close the deal
Yeah.
in the right way.
And on that note, guys, like I know we're this is the wholesale games, but in reality, if you get something on contract, no one's expecting you have to wholesale it, right? Maybe if you want to, you might want to hold on to it as a flip or as a rental or whatever, right? So when you do get something under contract, it's your deal. Do what you want with it, right? So I just want to make sure that no one feels like, oh man, well, this would be a really good flip or the perfect rental for me, but I'm in the games. I gotta wholesale it. No, that's not the case at all. Okay, so yeah, I like that. Who else went? Melissa, what were you seemed like you were about to come off mute, or did you have? What do you hope to?
Oh, I just said I want to get my first deal and get over the fear and just take action because I see everybody having success and I want to do that too.
Yeah, that's fair. Little FOMO, right? You're seeing other people landing deals, and you're like, well, I want some of that, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair.
I also want to land my first deal and just like, I like the steps that you have and the accountability to be doing it correct. I have the education available to me, but I get overwhelmed as to what step to take first and where to go.
Me
Yeah.
too.
We're gonna go over, especially tomorrow's call, the breaking it down, what the steps are just for a deal in general, and but specifically a wholesale deal. Like what is steps and what is the whole outline looks like, and it's things that we can start doing to actually achieving that. So I love that. Okay. Who else wants to share?
Yeah, similar to the other people, I feel like I just want to land my first deal so I have the confidence to kind of continue. I feel like sometimes for my very first deal, sometimes I have to be babied, and then as soon as I see myself doing it, okay, all right, I don't need, all this. I don't need as much babying. I can feel confident to do it myself. So
Absolutely. I mean, that's I love that. And I think a lot of people are in similar situations, right? Where it's like you need some hand holding, right? And a lot of us have the Renaissance education and or we've got other courses, and it's like, okay, how do we implement this stuff? How do I put it into action? What I'm learning, what this video I watched, like how do I actually do it? So that's something that's what we're in this for, right? This is what it is going to be. Is we're going to be implementation is the name of the game, you know. So I mean, it's MMAs. It's and feel free, please, guys, if it's like I know I'm harping on MMAs a lot, money making activities, but it's like if you have questions or like something that's really like you're just nervous about X, Y, and Z, like feel free to make a post about it. Ask, bring it up on one of these calls. Like, feel free to be open and communicative about your particular challenge you may not be facing. Because guess what? Not only you are probably facing that same challenge, but other people are facing the same challenge. And if I breeze over something, or you just need some clarification, or just need some help on something, like more than yourself is probably having the similar challenges. So feel free to please bring those things up as they come, and we can address them, get that going. So I like that. And eventually, what I'm gonna be doing is like doing like a more of an advance. So like after kind of what Bryce said, after maybe we need a little bit of babying or hand holding, better way to put it, hand holding the first deal or two, right? Getting things going. But then after that, it's like, okay, cool. Now I got this. So I'm debating on doing something like what's more like higher level as far as like uh great, now that I'm getting in some deals, how do I really put some capital into this and really start, exercising, but creating a system like a Linda and Jason have, you know what I mean? That they have the system that they're just it's what they can earn money, they can get deals without having to putting all the effort in scaling. Exactly, Kaden, exactly right. That's where for some reason wasn't thinking of it, right? How do you scale from that first couple deals, right? I mean, that's something we can kind of talk about as we go further. But hand holding and just upping your game. So even if you have experience, it's always about adding. What can I add to it? What can I do more? So, absolutely. What else? Who else wants to come out and share what they hope to accomplish during the games and why they joined, and or if they have any other questions about this too?
I'm hoping to do some of the similar of what everybody else did, and I don't know if anybody else saw my post besides Jared, but from Saturday, it's really looking like my husband's wanting to get more involved, so I'm like super excited about it.
Yeah, that I read that just before I opened the call. Like, oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. I love it.
Hey Jared, it's Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
I just want to say I'm super excited about this. I often drive past properties and just think like, I want to own that. I want to flip that. I want to. So putting those kind of two skills together, I'm really looking forward to. And I have from Renata's other things, I have people that want to buy properties. I just don't have the properties yet. So I'm really excited of blending, making the calls, getting the deals, wholesaling them. I wish this existed when I was like 19. That's my only.
Tell me about it.
Negative about it.
You and me both. I didn't even know. I was still working at Walmart and I was 35. So, 36 actually. I was 36 when I finally quit Walmart.
I was teaching phone sales when I was 19, but it had nothing to do with real estate. So it was
right.
It was a waste. So I'm really excited that finally all came together.
Well, and the thing is, like, if you were in sales, that's only going to help you in this whole process, right? And and the way that I approach sales and is maybe a little bit different than the traditional method. It's gonna be some cool stuff. It's really cool stuff. I'm excited to share all this stuff with you guys. So I love it. Does anyone else want to come off of mute and share what they're hoping to accomplish and do during these games, or just in general?
So Jared, I've already been through the games once, and I'm not saying I just slack off. I just didn't try as hard as I should have. But things have kind of changed for me because my husband's going to start a fix and flip class with Jason Andrews and Kendall Scott. Yeah. And I want to prove to him that I can do this better than he did.
I love it. So so you're almost competing with Carl a little bit, seeing who can make something happen?
Yeah, I could do it first.
I love that. That's so much fun.
Oh my gosh, girl power. I'll help you.
There you go. See?
I'm all about women helping women. So let's make it. Let's burn it in the dust. These men. Thanks, Melinda.
Challenge accepted.
Bring it. I want Jared's list.
That's right.
Yeah, Jared. I want
Love
your
it.
list.
I love it. I love it. It took me, 7+ years to get it. That's all. That's all.
I mean, I'm jealous. Not gonna lie. When I grow up, I want to be big like you.
You want to well first start losing your hair, and then
I'm already there.
okay, good, good. You're on the
I'm
right track.
52, so I'm already losing my
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah. I was getting my entrada. I can't even think of the word in English. I was getting my entradas. What?
What?
I was balding when I was in my early 20s.
Oh.
Hairline's coming back. I don't know. Anyways, in my house we speak a lot of Spanglish. It's like pass me the leche. This is it's whatever comes out. Okay, awesome guys. Well, I mean I'm really excited for this round that we're gonna do a lot more accountability, and I mean, and please guys feel free to reach out, communicate if there's questions, if there's concerns. So keep on dropping. I'm gonna put that pin down. And need to just keep in mind of so one thing I'm gonna ask you guys to do, if you between now and tomorrow is going through that start here, going through the Sacred Time video and the Battle Buddy video too. So they're like all together, it's like 25 minutes or less than 30 minutes on regular speed. So just go through those two because then it'll make more sense as we go through the calls. But the Sacred Time that we're going to talk about here, I think it's tomorrow if it's on schedule, if memory serves. That's going to be a huge, huge thing for you guys to actually hone in and lock in. That was a game changer. Like, how did I make enough money to leave Walmart within a year when I didn't have any time? I was working 60 hours a week at Walmart. I was going to school full time when I first started because I didn't know about real estate at the time. So I was going to school 18 credit hours. And then I started, then I found Renatus in the real estate. And so how did I do that in like 15 minutes a day? So I'm gonna talk about this. That's what Sacred Time is. We're gonna go over that in detail. So I'm excited for it. Okay, awesome. Any last comments or thoughts before we call it a day for this call?
Hello.
Yeah.
So I want to say something about the goals,
Yes, Frank. Yeah.
So maybe, we can have some individual goals and maybe we can have some collective goals,
Okay.
Like maybe create like a one team mentality. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but
yeah. So what like overall like people in the games would do X amount of MMAs a week or something like that, or like X amount of deals within the month, or what do you thinking, Frank? Or what's your like? I'm liking the train of thought.
yeah, what I'm thinking is maybe some of us we are kind of focused on okay, I wanna land my first deal or my second
Yeah.
deal or a deal here in the challenge, right? Just for the marketing or for all your self achievement, right?
Yeah.
Maybe what we been missing off, but I'm not saying not this is not working, but I'm saying like what we're missing off is maybe okay. For example, we got some contractors here in the group. We got some people who has access for other stuff that other people doesn't have. So maybe on the accountability partner or accountability or the battle body, kind of like, okay, what are you working on? Okay, how can I help you? Maybe we can participate together, and then one deal, and then and then we go on, and then maybe we do your own deal after that. But that way we leverage, and that's what we learn in Renato, right?
Totally.
Leveraging from others people's skills, other people's time, stuff like that. I don't know, maybe something like that, like okay, I'm struggling with this deal, and I know you said we can call you, right? If we start on something and do a J with you and stuff like that. why not just do it, with somebody else that we know in the group? Okay, this gentleman is a contractor, right? And I'm working on this deal. How about sending some pictures and he can send some estimates, and we go from there, something like that, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I like that. And working within the community, I mean, or within our group too, so that's huge. If, whoever, if you're a contractor, handyman, or like maybe you got some funds you want to put into a deal or whatever, like you can, because it's a closed community within the school, we can put stuff out like that and be 100%. Like this last deal that I closed on 2 weeks ago. It was it's a flip, but I reached out, who wants to partner on this deal? I'm looking for private money in this one, and then I was able to raise money through the community. And so yeah, you can definitely do that. Like, hey, I'm looking for a contractor or whatever. Like, this is also right there. This is what the community is for, right? So not just in other platforms, whatever, but even right here within the wholesaling cheat code community in on the Skool platform. That's it. And for those who are or maybe haven't joined already, if you're like want to jump into the games, right? Because this call is open for everyone, but and you have other questions or whatever, feel free to reach out to me. But if you're joining through outside of the Skool community, like I can send you the link too if you guys are. Most everyone here is already in the Skool, so we're good on that. But I can send you a link of how to join the Skool, our Skool community. So awesome, guys. Well, appreciate it. We're already 5 minutes over, so I want to try to be respectful of everyone's timing and as close as I possibly can to get things going. But I like this a lot. Any other thoughts and comments? Just put it into the chat, the community, and let's keep things rolling. So I'm really excited. Any other questions? Feel free to put in there, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sound good? Love it. All right, guys.
Jared.
Appreciate you all.
Thanks,
I love you
Jared.
all. I'll see you later tomorrow.